Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chan's Logic, Episode 3. Pepe's here. I have a cashew for him. He's crazy today. He's gone. And Steph's here next to me. We're excited. We're going to make things happen. And here we go.
How do you market a local business?
I would say the key to marketing a local business is you need to establish a brand presence. And the way we establish this brand presence is we visit a bunch of businesses in our area within about 2 miles of our business. We get talking to the owners. We see if our product is a good fit for their customers and if what they're doing is a good fit for ours. And then we start developing a relationship. So you get your products in their facility and their stuff in your facility, and you kind of go back and forth. You can use your email list together. You guys can do events together. And then all of a sudden you have this really cool community in a 3 mile area of your business and their business. I think the next thing I would start to look at when trying to market a local business is get on Facebook. Facebook is huge for local businesses. We can get on there, we can get people checked in, we can tag people, and we can have someone like Steph here make creative content.
Yeah, so your content, you need to make sure that this stands out amongst all of your competitors. Everything on Facebook kind of just starts going into a blur. People just scroll through really fast and might not ever even see what you've posted. So make sure that your content stands out. You want to take high quality pictures, put some overlay on them, put like words on them. Maybe trying to avoid the big long posts that people put up before the picture when you see it at the bottom. Put just a small saying or just a few words on the picture. That's more engaging to people. They're going to see that and read that quickly and like it, or keep scrolling on. But as long as your content is engaging to your audience, which, like he said, know your audience, know who you're trying to market to, make those pictures be something that they would click on or even want to, go to your page and find out a little bit more, stuff like that. So everybody has Androids and iPhones and all the things that you can take with you anywhere you go. You can make pictures with words on them in like 2 seconds. As long as you have a good app. So Adobe Post is my favorite. I can just use some of their like templates with their pictures or with their words, put it over the pictures that I want to choose. They even have like sizes already for Facebook ads, Instagram, Twitter, anything. And then you can make whatever sizes too. There's tons of different font options, kind of different designs for the words. So Adobe Post is my favorite. There's a lot out there though.
One I like a lot, because you should always put your logo on your pictures. Every picture should have a logo on it. I like to use iWatermark Plus for that. It's an app. It costs like $2, I think. And you can literally put a bunch of pictures on a bunch of photos really quickly. And so I like to do that. You always want your brand on those pictures so people see it and they start to recognize it. So what we're saying is trying to make it creative, make it exciting, and get people involved and engaged in your brand. So if you get people wanting to check your Facebook, wanting to see every day, wanting to see, oh, maybe they posted me today, or maybe they posted about that thing I was asking about. Now you have brand engagement. You have people who want to be part of what you're doing, and you're building a small community around your whole thing. So be creative, have fun with it, and get an idea of what your people want, why they want it, and what they're looking for. So the last thing I think you need to set up when you're marketing your business locally, especially on the social platforms, is we need a content creation calendar. We need to organize Monday through Saturday and the specific times we want to post. We need to organize what we need to post at each time. That way we have it all laid out. We know what we're going to do, and we can organize this ahead of time. Local business owners are often really busy and don't have enough time in the day. So we need to pre-post these things and just put it right off our content calendar and start collecting content for that calendar as time goes on. That way you build a big content library and you're organized and you have a system for publishing these things.
Yeah, take pictures all the time. You can never have too many pictures. You can always go back to something that was 6 months ago and be like, that works perfect for what I'm trying to post right now.
Big thing about your pictures too, take them sideways, especially on an iPhone. That gives you an HD picture and it gives you a much higher quality picture.
More space for words too.
This is true.
Can you work full-time and run your business full-time?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Are you answering it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bottom line, no, you can't. Next question.
Okay,
Just
so
kidding.
maybe let's go a little bit into this. I think when you're trying to do two things 100%, you're going to get 0% out of both things. You're going to start killing yourself. You're going to start falling apart. You're going to be tired all the time. You're never going to sleep. And you're going to give up on one thing. Usually that's when people give up on their business. They just find that it's too hard. There's no time to market everything. They can't do it. And they just say, I'm done with this. I'm just going to go back to the workforce. I can't have anything to do with this. So what we need to look at is we need to drop that thing that's kind of wasting your time, the thing that's your work, and focus on that business. The reason that business isn't doing very well is because you're not focusing on it. You're focusing on the work because right now that makes you money and it helps you survive, which is important. So what we need to do at first is maybe drop back your work time to 50% and bump up your business time a little bit more. And we need to get down a little bit over time and pump your business a little bit over time. So that way, after a while, we develop the ability to actually work on our business. Steph?
As long as you like your business, hopefully you opened a business that you enjoy doing whatever you're doing. Having the full-time salary job, most people are like, what can I do to get out of this? They don't want to do it. They don't want to have hours and have bosses that they have to report to. They want to have a business doing something that they love doing. And that's important. As long as you like doing it, that should be your goal, is to make that work. So putting in 120%, staying up late hours, having to go through the grind. I mean, that's what is going to make your business successful. So if that means, like you said, having to cut your salary, your job that you depend on, cut it down to 50%, it gives you that much more time to make your business successful in the long run, where you can finally get rid of that and hopefully just do 100% of what you love to do.
Yeah, that's hugely important. If you love what you're doing, you're going to find a way to make it work, and you're going to get out there and hustle to make it work. If you think you don't have enough hours in the day, wake up earlier. Sometimes you got to grind from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. And that's a reality. This happens. Sometimes I find myself, I get up early, and then I find I'm finally done with my last project at about midnight or 1 a.m. And then I go to bed and I do it over again. So here's a plan of action for making this work. I know you can't survive off your business often because you don't know how to survive off your business. So what you need to do is you need to rewind this video and watch our video on how to market locally. Start that up, start small, start pumping it out, start producing it, use all of your free time outside of your job that makes money to build this up and work this up one piece at a time. Each week, add a little more, take a little bit more away from what your work is doing. So that way you start building your business slowly and you start taking away the other avenue that's sucking all your energy away.
Is it possible for someone you trust to completely run your business in your absence?
So having someone you trust running your business completely in your absence. I think what's going to happen here is the person you trust who's running your business is going to run the business in the way that they want to run that business. It's going to work to their strengths, their weaknesses, and exactly where they want it to head. And even if you tell them what you want to happen and how it's going to work, it's still not going to work in the way that you'd like it to work or what your strengths and weaknesses are. Essentially, you're taking your business and having someone else produce and run it and make it happen. And this is what we call an absentee owner. I feel like if they're really good at what they're doing, they're really happy with what they're doing, and you let them do it and they're happy with doing it, you better take care of this person too. Because the second that person decides they can do it better, they're going to leave, and then all of a sudden you're not going to have anyone to run that business. Now, if you're talking about like a significant other running your business, then you better be real nice to that significant other as well, because they're going to be the one who has all the pressure and all the time and everything devoted into making this work.
Okay, so I think it is possible to have somebody running your business. The only thing with that is, like he said, once you give them total control, you're not there, you're absent for the most part, they are going to start running it the way they want to run it. You have to have all the guidelines laid out. Everything needs to be set in stone the way things need to be run. So pretty much, even if it's somebody like a significant other, like he said, or somebody that you trust, they've been with you for years, you need to have like that golden book of here is how things need to be done. There is no, I think this is better, so I'm going to do it this way. They can come to you and talk to you about like, hey, I think maybe we should run things a little bit differently. Let's try this. That's great. That's communication. That's how everything gets better. But the idea of having somebody, like he said, other than a significant other, somebody that's been with you for a long time, running your business completely without you being there is probably not the best idea. You need to be somewhat present, even if you have stepped back and just kind of doing more outside of the business. You still need to have some voice and some presence there, especially for, if it's somewhere that you have members or regular clients, stuff like that. They need to still see your face so that they know, you're still there, you're still part of this. It's your business. They may have built that relationship with you, that they trusted you before you started letting somebody else run the business. So you always need to be there. You can't be 100% absent from your business.
And so this steps into, you need to take a step back and look at why you're absent from your business. Are you just simply an investor? And if that's the case, then you have that general manager or whoever's running the business. They are the creative person. They're going to spot the trends. They're going to have the ideas, and they're going to make things work the way that they need to make it work because they're present. Or are you taking a step back from that business because you're doing something else to produce revenue or to make money? And if that's the case, what we need to look at is what's wrong with your business and why isn't it working? There is no concept where the business just fails because it's never going to work. The business isn't going to work because you're not putting the time and effort into making it work. And usually this is the case because we don't want to pursue things that we don't want to do. And that's like getting on social media, making that work. That's going around and talking to all the local businesses in the area. And that's being present 24/7. Sometimes that's not actually working inside the business. It's working on developing the business, making the business better, making the business stronger, and working to make the business a better place for everybody, including that person who's running your business. You're producing clients, you're producing people, and you're making things go into the business to make the business flow and work better.
Okay, so a couple good things that he brought up, both in the same sentence. If you are an investor and you have a general manager and you hire this whole team to run your business, that, like he said, is another story. So your general manager and their team that they decide to bring in underneath them, well, hopefully you trust them with everything because they're the ones that are going to be either making or breaking the money that you just invested into this business that you started. So make sure that it's someone you trust and they know what they're doing. They're going to be the ones, like he said, creating things, pushing out content. You know, they're pretty much becoming the face of your business. So make sure that that's the right person for what you are trying to achieve. And then the other thing about spotting trends with social media and all that stuff, it's ever changing. So we'll get into that another time, I think. But
yeah, you're going to notice that social platforms are constantly evolving. Different ones are going to go to the top. You're going to have to look for which ones are going to be the best ones and which ones to get on. And the earlier you get on board, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Try everything. We're playing with
Snapchat quite a bit because that's going to be pretty big soon. It's been the number 1 or 2 app in the App Store lately. And right now we're in the 27 and under phase in terms of who's using it. And it's looking like that's going to probably age up to at least the 55-year-old bracket pretty soon. So at least get a presence on there.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just a
Kinda
human
silly.
side. Show the back end of what you're doing, why you're doing it. Be a little ridiculous, have fun, and it really shows the humanistic side of your brand.
Okay, back on topic. Next question.
How do you balance work and business?
So the way we kind of want to balance work and businesses is almost the same way we balance work and life, except when you're balancing work, life, and business, you might not have a life. So when we look at this, this kind of stems back into the other questions we were talking about. Why are you putting too much effort into one side, and how much effort do you want to put into each, and why is one not working? So the way to balance this, like I said before, was we need to start chipping away at our work and start pushing into our business more. We need to figure out how to make it better, how to make it stronger, and how to build it up. And in order to balance that, I would say you need to put in more of your effort into your business if you enjoy it, and less into your work. Now, if you enjoy working 9 to 5 every day and that's where you want to be, then put all your effort into work and let the business go down, because that's where you want to be and the business is not. Sometimes we open a business with the best intentions, but when we actually open it and run it every day and we get used to it, we get burnt out really quick because not everybody's used to the 15, 16, 17-hour days that make businesses run successfully. And especially in a small business environment, the idea that you have to learn and do everything or find someone who can help you learn and do everything. Not everybody's prepared for that. Not everybody's independent enough to make that happen.
I think you pretty much said it all.
Okay. So balancing this is tricky. It really needs to go in the favor of what you want to do. For me, if I had to sit in a desk from 9 to 5, I would jump out of a 2-story window. I love being in my business. I love being able to be flexible, and I love doing things all the time, constantly hustling and working and doing stuff and making things happen. For someone else, that might not be the case. Maybe it's too much for them. Maybe they can't figure it out. And if that's the case, you got to do what you got to do to make you happy.
I
I jumped on a two-story window. Oh God. Okay.
What are some skills you have found most valuable in running your business?
So this one kind of ties into everything that we've talked about already for this week, and actually it ties into a couple questions that we've had on the last couple episodes. We're only on episode 3, but so skills that are valuable to you running your business. Biggest thing, you have to find your special purpose. We've touched on this one. So you can't run a business by yourself. You're always going to have a team, whether or not it's 2 of you, or 3 of you, 4 of you, 100 of you. You're always going to have a team. Everybody's always going to have something that they are good at. Somebody's going to be better at something than the other person. So knowing what purpose you have in that business to make everything run smoothly, that's a huge thing to start with, because we know that Chan likes to talk to people. He can sell, he can be the face, he can do a lot more, whereas I like to be more back end. I do the content, I do all the accounting, all the not so fun stuff with a little bit of the fun stuff sprinkled in every now and then. But that is what you have to establish. Everybody needs to know their roles. And this is for any business, small business, large business. Everybody has to know what they're good at and what they need to be working on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think what it really stems into is you know what you're good at and you know what you're not good at, and you can't be afraid to ask for help and have someone do what you're not good at. People who try to do everything and try to figure out what they're not good at and struggle through that are the people who are going to ultimately fail and not have the successful skills for a business. So I'm good at the things I'm good at, and I don't even touch the things Steph's good at. I don't even talk to her about it. She gets it done. She asks me if she has questions, and then we make it happen and we work well together. And that's why what we do works. I think the other thing that's incredibly important for running your own business is you have to be ready to do it all and rush into it. So you let some people do what they're good at, you do what you're good at, but you have to be willing to work long hours at first. You have to be willing to work for little to no pay at first, because you need to invest everything back in that business. And you have to be not in love with certain ideas. If you fall in love with something and you refuse to change what you're doing, you're going to fail. You have to see what's happening, you have to evolve, and you have to step over those boundaries. You have to figure out what's happening and adjust based on that. The idea that we have a romantic idea and we refuse to change it is the reason we'll fail, because you'll be stuck in the 1980s trying to do something that doesn't work today.
How come education is so devalued?
So my opinion on education right now in today's culture is it's so overvalued that everybody's doing it. Everybody's going to college. Everybody's studying whatever they want to study, and everybody's graduating. And guess what? Not everybody has a job. So what's happening? We're going to these educational institutions. We're paying all this money, funneling as much as we can into it, going into super heavy debt, and then we come out and we have nothing to show for it. This is the reason education is devalued at this point. To me, it's why would I go into a college and study some concept like marketing, for example, now when by the time I graduate, it's obsolete. Nobody cares about those concepts anymore. When I could go into something like, if I wanted to pursue a trade school, at least I have a workable skill when I get out. Or maybe I'm in the education environment and I'm really focusing on what my passion is while I get through it, just to get through it. So I think the value behind education is there is no value behind it anymore.
Okay.
So I think the reason there's no value in education anymore is because it's been so overvalued. It's putting people in incredible amounts of debt, and we're not getting anything to show from it. Steph?
True statement. I went to school for biology. Now I run a gym.
I went to school for biology and biochemistry, and now I run a successful business, and I run a couple other businesses. And what did I find out that I learned about business in biology class? And even I did another undergraduate in business, and guess what I learned? Nothing. I learned concepts that were good 25 years ago, and I learned how to take a test like a champion, but I didn't learn about how to grind through a business. I didn't learn how to market myself effectively on social media. I didn't learn how to go to local businesses in the area and talk to them. I didn't learn any of this stuff. So my new concept now is, if you're smart enough to get into business school, you're smart enough to not need it.
That's probably good.